Okay, I want to create one more repository. Go here, create new repository, give it as my third repo. Okay, my third repo. Description, it is optional. Public means what? Anyone on internet, if I create this repository, anyone on internet can see my repository, the files present on inside my repository, but they cannot make the changes. So if they want to edit my files, I want to give them access. Without my access, they cannot, without I give access, they cannot make any edits to my GitHub repository, but they can see my entire GitHub repository and files. But if I give it as a public private repository, both they cannot see, even though they know my URL, the repository URL, they cannot see it. So for both seeing and editing, I have to give access to that person, right? If I don't give access, they cannot select. But for now, if I give as public, anyone can see my repository, but they cannot edit the changes. Okay, fine. Next, I want to select this README file. Why? Because I don't want to initialize this as an empty repository. If I don't select this, any one of these files, right, my repository will be created as empty repository. Again, I have to execute few commands to create some file and push commit and push to this. But for now, I don't want that as an empty repository. So I'm selecting this. I'll show once again what is that empty repository, what commands we have to execute. I'll show you that later. You can see that. For now, let me create with read.md. The file name is readme. Okay, readme is a file name. So with that, I'm going to create a repository. Okay, so my third repository has been created. My third repository has been created. Okay, so now it has one file. So now if I go here, I created total 3 repositories. So right, so this one, my first repository, second repo, my third repo, 3. This has been like I just was forking and trying to edit some other repository, right? So that become as forked here. What is this fork? I'll see that we missed to record that. What is this fork? I'll talk. This is one of the concept. Fork is one concept. We'll discuss that later. For now, I created 3 repositories. My first repo, my second repo, my first repository, my second repo, my third repo. 3 repositories I created. Now let me go to this, my first repo. Is it clear so far how to create a repository, how to create a GitHub account, how to create a repositories, multiple repositories? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this part we did. This part we did like creating a GitHub account, inside that creating a repository. This part we did. Now I am one of the developer. From my machine, I want to connect to this. From my local laptop, I want to make a connection to this. So for that, you cannot make the connection easily. First, see, this GitHub account is somewhere else in a remote mission. So you are just giving username, password, logging in. If once you log out, that's it, gone. All right. Again, if you log in with the same username, password, okay, you can see your repositories. Fine. But what about this Git? This GitHub is one of the source code management tool, which will be remote application. So we created account there. Fine. But Git is your local application. You want to install it. How do you install it? Is just Google like this. Git for Windows. That's it. Git for Windows. Just type it. That's it. Go to this. Don't go to all these things. Get into this. git-scm.com. Okay. git-scm.com. You just get into this downloads. Okay. If you go here, you can see it has for Mac, it has for Windows, it has for Linux. If we click on Linux and Unix, it has some commands how to install Git on your machine. So this is for Ubuntu, this is for Fedora, right? Red Hat, you can install like this. So for different Linux distributions, it has. But for now, we want for Windows. If you want for Mac, if you can click on this, brew install Git like this, it will show. If it is Windows, go here. Go here. See, sometimes by default, based on your Windows operating system or else like Windows operating system, automatically it start downloading. If not, you click on this Windows. We want for Windows, right? Click on this Git for Windows. You have to Google like Git for Windows. Git for Windows. Select Git. See, based on operating system, see, it already started downloading. Mine is a 32-bit machine. Mine is a 32-bit machine. It already started downloading. If not, you click on this, it will start downloading. It has been downloaded. Now go here. Okay, it has been downloaded. Now, this is an exe file. This is an exe file. If it is an exe file, how to How to install it? If it is an exe file, how to install it on Windows?
Double click.
Yes, double clicks. Next, default settings, last, finish. That's it. Double click. Next, finish. So I already have it. I just double click, but I cancel it because I already installed it. So if you double click it, it will ask yes or no. You can click on yes. Next, finish. But from now, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I already have it. Now, once you install it, what is the proof that my the Git is installed on my Linux machine? That is, anywhere on your system, anywhere, just right click, you'll be able to see these two options. It means your Git is successfully installed. Anywhere on your desktop you install, like I'll go to Git practice, I'll double right click here, wherever on your machine, if you double right click, you'll be able to see that option. It means Git has been successfully installed on your machine. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Yatish, you also WhatsApp me, man. I'm going to ping my number once again. You WhatsApp me. Okay. So is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Understood? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How to install Git on your Windows? You understood, guys? How to install Git on your Windows machine? Have you understood?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Commands. Mac, follow the commands, right? So I have. So once you get that .exe file, double click, finish. Okay, fine. So when you right click, you'll be able to see these two options. It means your Git is successfully installed. Now let me do one thing. Okay. Let me delete these two. Okay. Now, just for practicing purpose, I'm creating one folder. I'll open this. Here, see, I have a GitHub account. Right? Inside that, I have a repository. So I have one GitHub repository. I have my local laptop where Git is installed. Here I have a repo. Here I have my first repo. Right? Here I have Git. I want to make a communication. Means I want to create a link between these two. Right? I have GitHub repository. Yes, I have. I have Git in my local. Yes, I have. When I right click, it is showing Git bash. I want to take this repository into my local. I want to take that my first repository. Inside that first repository, there is one file called as readme.md. I want to take that into my local. I want to basically create a link between these two. So whatever the changes present inside that repository, I want to get it here, right? So for that, what you have to do is wherever you want to get the changes, I want to get inside my Git practice. Right click, open this Git bash here. Open this. A terminal will be opened. This we already know. We have seen this in first session itself, where we created AWS account, right? So at that time also we use this Git bash as a client. So what is this? When we right click, it is telling Git bash here. What is this Git bash is? This is client for Git. Means to execute Git commands. So we use this Git bash. This is called as Git bash. This is called as client for Git. So this Git bash is nothing but a client for Git, where we are going to execute Git commands. Now, I want to create a link. Means I want to take this GitHub repository. This is remote one. This GitHub repository is a remote one. I want to take this into my local, and make a communication between my Git and GitHub repository. So for that, there is one command called as git clone. Git clone. What should I give here is, we go to this GitHub repository, right? This is my GitHub repository, right? If you go to code, there is three URLs. One is HTTPS URL, one is SSH URL, one is GitHub CLI. So for now, I'm going to use this HTTPS URL. So this is the new one. There itself, they are showing GitHub CLI is a new one. So these two are holders. So for now, I'll use HTTPS. Take this URL. If you want SSH, you can take this, no problem. If you click on this also, it will copy, right? So enter this URL I want to copy. You can just click on this, it will copy, right? Where I went to my repository, to this code, and you can select whatever you want, HTTPS, SSH, or GitHub CLI. So I selected HTTPS, selecting this. Now I'll go here, give this URL, give this here, git clone URL. Not this URL. Again, I'm saying not this URL. If you use this URL and then come to me and ask, sir, I'm getting error, I'm not going to help you because I'm highlighting now itself. Not this URL, this URL. The only difference between that URL and this URL is last .git will be there. But you don't need to worry. Instead of copying from here, you copy it here. That .git will also come. Enter. Now it's saying cloning into something. It is showing. Cloning into something done. Finally, it showed done. What is this? We'll see that later. Finally, it showed done. Now, let me go to my location. Now, under this git practice only, I opened this git bash. If I type pwd also, you can see here. So, under desktop git practice, under git practice, see this under desktop git practice. Am I seeing that my first repository here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To reduce the size. Okay, okay, leave it. So are you able to see this? My first repository, this one, my first repository here. So my first repository has one file, readme.md. So here also, if I go here, my first readme.md, it is there, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Same. Now I want to create a file. I want to create a file in my local. Now what we did so far, here there is one readme.md. We cloned that from here, right? The file inside that repository, that entire repository came to my local. The entire repository itself, that my first repository, entire repository itself came with the files present inside that. There is one file, readme.md. With that, along with that file, entire repository came into my local. Now I want to make one file, create one file and push it. In the reverse, I want to push into that remote repository. So there is a sync right here. My repository is there. Here that whatever is there here, I got it here. Now there is a link. Now I want to create one file here and reverse way I want to push. Last time I got from here to here. Now I want to push from here to here. From my local, I want to push it to here. Now to understand that, it is not so simple like that. One more thing before explaining that, I want to tell you that git clone will be used only once for a repository. Always we will not use clone. For example, first time first time I created a repository directly here. Now this person wants to connect to this repository. So first time he will use git clone. This person also want to connect. So git clone, git clone, git clone, git clone. Okay. Next time, this person created one file in his local and pushed the file to this here. Now, this new file, this first person wants to get into his local. Now, do you want to use git clone? Git clone he want to use? No. Git clone will be used only once when you are taking that new repository into your local. Means that repository is not there in your local. First time you are taking. Now you have to use git clone, but you already cloned it. Now this person pushed one file. Just you don't want to take that entire repository. You just want to take only latest changes. Means the repository itself is already there, but you don't want the existing files and all. The newly created files or else modified files you want to get into your local. Then you should not use git clone. Instead, you have to use git pull. You have to use git clone is one-time usable command, whereas to get the latest changes from after that, after cloning, if you want to get the latest changes, every time you have to use git pull. Understood, guys? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that to git pull, where you have to use, see my git bash, where it is? My git bash is pointing to git practice. So not from git practice. I want to enter inside this repository. CD, my first repository. Here you have to use git pull. Here you have to use. So from inside that repository, not from Git practice. If you use Git pull here, it cannot identify from where you are pulling. You have to go inside the repository. Inside the repository, see here, I'm inside Git desktop, Git practice, my first repository. Here, if you type Git pull, right, it will pull the latest changes. But inside our repository, there are no changes, right? After cloning, there are no changes made into our GitHub repository. It is saying already up to date. Already whatever there on your GitHub repository, the same changes are there in your local Git repository also, right? So whatever this GitHub repository is there, right? So this is we call as GitHub repository, but this one we call as Git repository. So whatever present on your GitHub, same things are there here. So that is, it is showing as already up to date. So you understood when to use Git clone, when to use Git pull?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So Git clone one time, right? First time when we want to take that GitHub remote repository into your local, then we use Git clone. After that onwards, to get the latest changes, we always use Git pull. If I try to clone it here, it will throw error saying the already repository is there like that. Okay, fine. So now, next, let's learn the reverse order. So everyone cloned, everyone did cloning. Okay, for example, there is one file here. Everyone cloned. Everyone has cloned. Okay, let me take 3 only here. I'll ignore these 2 people. Okay, it's hard to explain. Okay, 3 people has cloned. Fine. Now this person wants to push one file. Okay, I created a file here in reverse order, right? From my local, I want to push. I'm creating one file called as one Java file. I'll create a.java. For example, a.java. I'm going to create. Okay, I created a file called as a.java. Where I created this? In my local. In my local, I created. This a.java is in my local. I want to push it into this GitHub repository, but it is not so easy like how you cloned or pull. Easy only, but not like a single command. There are some steps involved here. There are some steps involved here. It's not while cloning git clone. Pull means git pull, right? So it's simple, but here not single command. There are some steps we have to follow. What are those? Yes. See, in your GitHub repository, in your Git repository, in your Git local Git, whenever you clone, you are able to see something called as .git. You are seeing something called as .git. This is nothing but your local repository. This is actually a repository, okay, where the versions for each file, the changes we made, that version IDs will be generated and be placed inside this. We'll learn about this in detail later. For now, you remember this as a repository where it maintains the versions and all. Now I created one file. It is normal file. There is no link for this file and the Git. This is my local Git repository. However, you have this here Git repository, right? So these are the physical files. So these are the physical files, but the versioning and all internally maintained by this .git repository. .git is nothing but a folder. We also call it as a repository. Okay. So in this version has to be created for this newly created file. For now, when I created this file, no version has been created because it don't know you created a file. I'll create 100 files. It doesn't mean that all 100 has to be pushed to GitHub repository. Maybe for my testing purpose or simply I'm creating this. So now what I have to do when I create a new files, before moving it to GitHub repository, I have to do few actions. What are those? Let's learn this. First, I need to add that file into staging area. The newly created file has to be added into staging area. What is this staging area? Staging area is a logical space. One logical area that is not existing physically. Just we assume like staging area means one space. Logically existing, but not physically existing. Just we think staging area means one place. That physically not existing, just imaginary one staging area. We have to add that file. Why we want to add the file into staging area? First, let's learn this. That is logical space, not physically existing. We just imagine there is something called a staging area. The name is staging area, right? Why? Because, for example, I create 10 files. I created 10 files, A.java, B.java, C.java, like that. I created 10 Java files. But all 10, I don't want to move into GitHub repository right now. Why? Because I'm doing coding only in A.java. I completed the coding, but in B.java, C.java, only half is done. Half is done, but not completely done. Only in A.java, I completed the coding. So now, for now, only I want to push only this A.java, B.java, C.java, I'll push after 1 hour. I want only A.java pushed into GitHub repository. C and B, I'll push later. So in such cases, whatever the files you have, right, in that, what you want to commit and push to GitHub repository, only those you want to add into staging area, right? I have 10 files, but in that, only one has to be moved into GitHub. So first, you want to add only one file, that whatever you want to commit, only one you want to add into staging area. Okay. Now, whatever the files you added into staging area, only those can be committed. Only those can be committed. What is this committed? Is, for example, think that there is one logical staging area. I added this file into staging area. I added this file into staging area. Now, I want to commit. I want to commit that file. Means commit is nothing but committing that into local GitHub repository, where whenever you commit, at that time, a version ID will be generated. A version ID will be generated and it will track. So before this commit, right, there was no A.java. So this is a new file. So for that new file, it will generate one commit ID and it will track. So nothing was there before this commit. Just now this file has been created. What are all the changes present inside that file? And who is the person making this commit? It will track that. Right? Now, why we are adding staging area? Sir, you can ask, why can't I directly commit? Why can't I directly commit into this GitHub repository? Whenever I commit, sir, you are saying whenever I commit into this GitHub repository, then only a version ID will be generated. Then only that it will track the changes, right? The changes it is going to track, and who made the changes, all the information it is tracking. Why I have to add into staging area? Why can't I directly commit? It is not possible. Without adding a file into staging area, you cannot commit that. Directly commit is not possible, right? First, you have to add it to staging area. Why? Because if, as I said, I have 10 files, but in that 10, I want to commit only one. So the only one has to be added into staging area. From staging area, you can commit into .git repository. This is my .git repository. You can commit. Okay. So whenever you commit, right, it will not check. Whenever you commit, there is one command called as commit. It is not going to check how many files, new files are there, how many modified files. It is not going to check. Whatever the files you added into staging area, all those will be committed. For example, let me create one more file called as b.java. Now tell me how many files I have. How many new files I have? Two. A.java, B.java. Now I'll go and execute here one command called as git status. Git status. Here itself it will show. Red color it is showing. How many files are there? Untracked files means new files. How many new files are there in my Git repository? Local new files, 2 are there. So these are 2. There is no link between these 2 files and my Git. So first, I want to add them into staging area. So these 2 files I don't want to commit. These 2 files I don't want to commit. I want to add only one into staging area, that is A.java. So for that, the command is git add A.java. A.java. Now see this. Git status. So this B.java still showing in red color under untracked files. Whereas this a.java is showing as new file, but under changes to be committed, right? So now I have added one file a.java into my staging area, Now I want to commit this. Now the command is git commit -m. -m means message, some message committing. Why you are committing this file? Some proper meaning we have to give. I'll explain that later. Committing my first file. Okay, just some. I'm giving this. Now tell me, if I commit this, the changes will be committed into this .github repository. A track ID will be generated. A version ID will be generated. Now, how many files will be committed now? How many files?
One, sir.
One. What is the file?
A.java.
A.java.
A.java. Why?
Because A.java is moved into staging.
Yeah, because that only A.java is inside staging area. We haven't moved B.java into staging area. If we have moved both A.java, B.java into staging area, then when you commit, both the files will get committed, right? So why we need staging area is, if we have many files, either new files, modified files, whatever the files you want to commit, only those files you add into staging area. Why? Because while committing, this commit command will not check how many new files are there, modified files are there. It will not check. It will just look only for the files which are there in the staging area. If we have added one file, it will commit only one file. If we have added two files into staging area, how many files are there in staging area? All the files will be committed. So for example, in my staging area, there are two files. When I commit them, for both the files, it will generate only one commit ID and check. Well, okay, for this commit ID, two files has been committed. Before this commit ID, what are all the changes of each file? What are all the changes after the commit ID for each file? Everything it will track. For now, we have only one file. I'm going to commit this. Commit. Done. Now see here, when I committed, it has been generated one commit ID. This is not the complete commit ID. I'll show you the complete ID. It has been committed. Now if I type git status, that file itself will not show. That A.java itself is not showing because that has been committed. Means we created a link. We gave the responsibility of this file to our Git. Hey, you are responsible for this file. I did my changes. All right. Now, if I type git log, I'll be able to see this. See this? It is showing this. Just now I committed, right? This is when we cloned. This is just now when we committed. Who committed? I committed. My name, my desktop name is Neil. It is showing my name with this email ID, kctechnologiesdevops@gmail.com. This is my email ID. How to set this name and email ID? I'll show. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you. Don't worry. Okay. This Neil, kctechnologiesdevops@gmail.com. This is my email ID. And this is the version ID or the commit ID it has generated. And this is the commit -m message, right? I gave, right? Committing my first file. It tracked that also. So it is tracked. It has generated for the changes, whatever I did, it has generated one commit ID or version ID. And who is the author? Who made this commit? This person, and his email ID is this one. At what time he made this and what commit message he gave for that commit, it is giving this. Okay, understood, guys? Like this, it is going to track. Understood? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, where the changes are present, still in my local GitHub Git repository only. I want to move that. So now what I did, I added one file, newly created file into staging area. From that staging area, I committed that into my local Git repository only, local Git repository. Now I want to push the changes to my GitHub repository. Now I want to push the changes. So for that, git push is the command. Git push. I want to give, okay, -u, we give like this also, origin main, like this we give. What is this -u origin main? We will learn later. After some time. For now, you remember git push. Git push is also enough. These are optional. You no need to give -u origin main. You no need to give. These are optional. sometimes we may need to give what is the scenarios we'll learn later. For now, let me try to push. Git push -new origin main. What it is saying? Permission denied. You remember one thing. Do you remember what type of repository it is? What type of repository this is? Public or private?
Public.
Public means I can read it without any username password. Yes or no?
Yes.
I cloned. Cloned is nothing but reading, just taking the code. Fine. Now, when I modified the file and committed local git, right? No problem. This is my own local, so I can commit it. But when I'm trying to move the same changes to GitHub repository, when I'm trying to move the same changes from my local to GitHub repository, it is throwing. It is permission denied. Somewhere you can see permissions to this repository denied to this person. Why? The entered requested URL returned is 403. 403 means permission denied. Means you don't have valid username and password. If it is a public repository, you can read, but you cannot modify the repository. When I'm trying to push one new file, to this, it means modifying a repository only, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
I don't have access. Okay, how to get access and all we'll see later. For now, let me you guys explain me what are the commands I have to use. Okay, I have a GitHub repository. I want to take into my local. What is the command I have to use?
Full.
Git
Full.
Git clone. Cool. Next, there is one more person. He also used clone. Okay, fine. Now this person has created one file. He has created. Now he want to push the changes, this new file into this GitHub repository. But he has to do
Git add.
He has to add it to the staging area.
yes. First, he want to add that file into staging area. So this is staging area, for example, logical area. Okay. So how to add into staging area? What is the command?
Git add
Git add
file name.
File name. For example, a.java file name. Okay. Next, once we add it, then what should we do?
We have to commit.
Okay, there will be a local Git repository. We have to commit that. So this file is inside the staging area. When I commit, all the files present inside that staging area will be get committed. So first I want to commit into my local Git repository. So whenever you see, remember one thing, when you add it, version ID will not be generated. When you commit that, then only version ID will be generated. So what is the command to commit?
Git commit.
Git
Commit.
Minus
Version
minus m message. Why you are making this? What file changes you